Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization.
I don't think he's allowed legally to do business inside New York State.
Donald Trump Jr. joins me now. Well, we want to start with the RNC. You know what? Let's start with the RNC. Don, what are your thoughts? Your sister-in-law will now be the co-chair of the RNC. And really good news. I mean, from my standpoint, just did a monologue on this a long time coming that Ronna Romney McDaniel gets out of the way because that information.
Yeah, because they were doing all this stuff like raising money for other Republicans. And honestly, when are we finally going to come to grips with the fact that MAGA is a monarchy? And that's the MAGA world is a monarchy. MAGA itself. We don't need others. There's the king, and then there's plebes, and then there are obviously lords, but they're all the family. So, like this dickhead and Laura and other people. And, and if any of the queens bother them, they get buried on a golf course. So, what do you think? Other people get to be Republicans? What the fuck kind of Jimmy Carter bullshit is this?
The structure means so much. The fundraising group, but also the...
Oh, yes, the fundraising definitely means something. Ooh. So I'm checking. I don't see anybody in there yet. Did you give them the right thing? They got the right thing? Might take them a minute. I'm looking. Here you go. I'm going to make sure I send you the right... I'll send you the link again just in case. Just there. And then... There we go. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they get in there all right. I don't know who it is. I'm very excited.
The email list.
Somebody. Oh, look at that. It's okay. Hold on. 1 second. Don't say anything because people will know exactly who you are by your crazy East Coast voice. Hold on. Let's see. I'll go to this one, and then I turn off this thing, and then I click into here. And then I go into this, and I double up, and I click this. 1 second. And I hit paste, and hit OK. And then I turn this thing back on. And then in a couple seconds, I think, it'll pop right in. If we just give it a second to load, almost, we'll see if he's there. I think it worked. Oh, he went away. Perfect. Oh, he went away. Damn it. Come back. Come back. He was there just a second ago. It's okay. So in the process, what I will do is I will ruin the surprise. See if he comes back in. There he is. Yeah, there we go. Almost. We'll see. It's coming back. I've got the black circle of death right now. I don't know why. Oh, there he is. I see him, but I don't hear him. Do not have audio. It's a surprise for even then, but it's a good look. I mean, he looks very sinister. Just saying, it's a good look. I will give him that, but we can't hear him at all. It's good stuff. I'm just gonna leave him like that. I just like it. Look at this. I feel so much safer with Boston Brian just throwing a sinister look over my shoulder. You're gonna have to reload, brother. That's what's gonna happen. That's what it is. There, he'll come back in. It's fine. It was a surprise, so it doesn't matter. And that means, let's see, can I get in here with this shit? Okay, I'm going to move this guy over here. See if we can get this one. There we go. We'll move that over here. And try to squeeze. I don't know how we squeeze it down. I got to make a new window for this shit. If we're going to do this. Move this down, grab this thing. Yeah, that'll work. Sure, why not? And then we'll see if, is he popping in? We'll see. In the meantime, it'll make it happen. There we go. And then, I gotta, what else do I do? Guest in the news. Figured out. Oh, is he just popping in to say hi, or is he having issues? All right, I'll wait for him to come back in. Like Boss Brian, hello, we love you. What? Okay, here he comes. I see him. There he is. And I think I hear him.
I come in to say, uh-oh.
I got you. You're good. There he is. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to crash the show. I just wanted to come on and say thank you for yesterday.
Not at all. Yeah. So I was, for those that don't know, I was in mid-travel. I had one of my donut travel days, which is like 2 flights in the morning, break in the middle of the day, and then 2 flights at night, round trip kind of crazy thing. One day I'll write a book. But so I land it, and I'm sitting in an airport, using their Wi-Fi, and I see that this guy's gone live as he does every Sunday. Check him out, and Patreon, etc. And so I just kind of I pipe in there. I'm like, he says I forget what the first thing you said that triggered me or whatever, but I was like, but you also this like so I just automatically went into mode because you're watching him. Especially, and you were watching the one with the whole, like
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
Yeah, that one.
Hell, I spent an hour and a half on the first 30 minutes of that speech.
I told you. That's now you understand. Now people get it because and I said it when you were like, he's got 20 minutes left. I'll keep doing it. And I was like, 20 minutes is an hour of debunking. Minimum.
I got off the first thing I said. I go, how the frig does Hal do like multiple things and the fucking speech?
I do it standing up. That's how I fucking do it. Buddy.
I had about 7 things written down that I wanted to go over.
Right. Well, I'm glad. Hold on one second. I've got to. Let's see if I can do this. Yeah, I want to filters. I got to move this over to here. There we go. One of the ways that I end up doing it is because I've got the glow. That's why I
No, but honestly, I didn't want to hijack a show. I really just wanted to show my appreciation for you showing your appreciation.
Oh yeah,
really
no, I love
and you
it.
hung around too. It's not like you just commented and took off. You were hanging around.
Right. I wasn't just going to come in there and kind of dunk on the idea that you're doing a show. That wouldn't be right.
And you're a member.
Yeah. I was like, I became a member of the channel. Yes, I've committed to that.
But
whole
yes,
process.
I got a little nervous during the stream, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, I've done an hour and a half. He's talked for 25 minutes. He talks for 2 hours in this speech.
Yes.
How the hell do I? I'd be there all day.
Right. Oh, it's brutal. And people know when I've done a whole run, the whole thing, it can take it's taken me I think one of them took 6 hours because it was 2 and just every fucking third sentence, it's either 2 sentences of gibberish and an outright lie or 2 outright lies and one of the most hysterical bullshit nonsense gibberish crap the whole
combat.
What was that word you typed on Twitter?
Huh?
He was trying to say some word.
He was trying to say compliments of, and he said compliments or whatever it was. It was fucking terrible. Yeah.
I know words. I have the best words.
He has
Obama.
The issues that this motherfucker has. It's amazing. It's amazing to watch. These people stand there and go, he's the great.
Right.
He's the
and
greatest.
I used to be the guy in the chat, why the fuck is this guy stopping the video so much? And now I can't help but do it every 2 words.
Right. Because on the one hand, you can't let him get away with it. That's the other thing. It's I cover these fucking lies when he says them again and again and again and again. And I feel like I've said it until I'm blue in the face. But I don't know when somebody's just rolled in, never seen the chat before, never been, never watched the show, isn't going to go back and watch fucking clips of me watching.
Doesn't know you've covered it a million times.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So I'm trying to find ever increasingly tighter ways of saying the piece and just moving on. And I sometimes it irks me a little bit that I have to repeat this same shit again because he's saying the same dumbass garbage, but nobody else is picking it up. You mentioned at one point that we shouldn't have to do this. You and I shouldn't have to do this. Fucking Midas shouldn't have to do this or whatever, but we do. And because we have to, we really do, because nobody's going to point this shit out. Nobody, and even Aaron Rupar and other people who are, who go put the clips up and that kind of stuff. They're pulling these slices and he's doing a little bit of typed Twitter stuff above it. Right.
But we're the second layer to that. When they post a video, we're the second layer that breaks down that video and why it's ridiculous and why what he said is a lie. That type of stuff.
And there are some, and I there's always a danger that there becomes a viral fuck up that he does or something, and it creates what I would call the illusion of normalcy everywhere else in it. If this is weird and it's hilarious and stupid, it was a mistake. The assumption is the rest of it was great. Like, it was fine, you know?
Right.
And
when in
and
reality,
it was,
he spent 45 minutes talking about The Apprentice.
yeah.
In a
And by the
presidential
way,
campaign speech.
which was not the most popular television show in history, like by any fucking measure. It was a raggedy ass game show that they had to create this farce that he was actually rich and powerful. They came in, they looked at his office, and they were like, apparently, like, no, according to Noel Castler, when they came in there, they were like, Jesus Christ, at least we can change what it looks like, but at least, you know, people can't smell it. Because it was just, it was a rundown bullshit, you know, third generation, pile of leftovers. It was a guy who turned a construction company that his dad had created, which really made buildings, into a fucking branding exercise without any idea at the time what that brand stood for other than gaudy excess. Just like 80s, like high-end bullshit, like 80s rom-com villain is aesthetic.
You had an excellent point when you said, okay, name a building that Trump built is going to have a lasting impact or a lasting effect on the area, or wouldn't just be a generic building that didn't have his name on it.
None of them.
And I'm
none
sorry
of them
if I sound like I've had a few beers, but I'm hearing myself twice. So
that's okay. No, there's a echo coming back to you, so or something maybe. So maybe that there's a little jagged thing. I will see if I can solve that. Not at all on my end. Yeah, like nothing. You know, that occurred to me recently in this whole like where I think Eric was saying he built the skyline of New York, which is just like, get the fuck out of here. You didn't build the goddamn skyline of New York, you dipshit. Like, not even close.
Like his hands are all dried out from mixing cement.
Right.
Let me
yeah.
see those
Never.
calluses.
Yeah. Never fucking happened. Hold on. I'm gonna turn off the secondary because there's 2 echo cancellations and it seems to be bouncing twice. It might be all right now. We'll see. But
I'm sorry.
I don't know why, but it sounds better. So, you know, I was like, I literally, when he said that, I was like, I know they built Trump Tower on the space with his dad's money because it was still his dad's company. It was like Trump Tower, Fred Trump Tower when he built that fucking thing. It still owned the company. He was still alive and running everything. And that's when he started bullshitting people about, you know, like he started calling People Magazine and saying, you know, or Forbes, when he called Forbes and said the company's been transferred 100% over to Donald. You know, he was calling us John Barron, saying that Fred's no longer the guy, that he was lying. He hadn't done any of that shit.
Buffalo Bills to show them that he was rich enough to be part owner of the team.
Right.
Only guy in history to bring a magazine to an NFL team to show his
net worth,
his wealth.
Yeah. Do you think he stapled that "Don't believe any of this bullshit" disclaimer on the front of the magazine?
And again with The Apprentice, I mean, even if you take out the ridiculousness of him saying it was a #1 show and yada yada, how about him as a businessman, right? Like, he told us that he had ownership in the show, but wanted it to fail, only because of his vanity. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't want Arnold Schwarzenegger or Martha Stewart to have better ratings or a longer-lasting show, even though it would have made him money.
Right. I mean, it's fucking gibberish. Let's be honest. I want to say I found, because I was looking for it earlier. Cool. That was loud. That's a good time. That is definitely an echo. That was definitely an echo coming back. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, it's good. Okay, it's better.
I'm good. I don't know why the hell it's echoing.
Yeah, it happens. Oh, and by the way, I feel like I owe you this one. I sent him a clip the other day. I think you can hear this, right?
Horror. Horror.
The horror.
The horror.
He says it so many times.
Again, for those of you that don't know, Trump is trying to do Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. and whenever he does the horror, because he thinks that's one of the big monologues ever. I'm dead serious. Like, that's where he got it from. I was talking to Bob Seska this morning, and it occurred to me that two things occurred to me. One is that what we're seeing now in his dementia is this car crash of weird pop culture references that he hung on to that somehow got a hook in his fucking head along the way, and he somehow has managed to, like, they don't work together. They don't fuse into one idea. They just kind of sit there like idling after they bashed into each other, and they rush to the front of his face whenever he's trying to make an analogy of something, and they make no fucking sense. And one of them is that, like, idiotic fucking monologue that the whole one that Brando did in Apocalypse Now, like, you know nothing about the horror. You don't know anything about the horror. You're an errand boy. And he's eating fucking seeds because he doesn't know his
Can't even get my mouth
lines.
to do that.
And he's yeah.
Well, you gotta do this. This is the gangster way of speaking. You understand? That's how people talk at the time.
Can't do it.
I have solid control over every muscle in my face. I can watch. You want to see something weird? Hold on. I can do that. I can do both eyebrows, but I can also do both sides of my bottom lip. Yeah, it's super weird. But silly rubber-faced git is what they used to call me. But so
anyways, because it's echoing, I don't want to ruin your show. I just wanted to come on and say thank you. I know you have something to talk about with Don Jr. So
yes.
I'll hop down. I don't want to ruin the whole clip.
Thanks for coming by. Appreciate you. Check out, and your live stream is every Sunday now, right? You're doing a full
correct.
live
1
stream?
p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Excellent. So 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our good friend Boss Brian every Sunday. I don't do a show on Sunday, so you can lay back and just enjoy the whole thing and just watch him as a relatively new, live streamer dealing with some of the shit, especially as we go into this election year and Trump does more of these rallies and has a harder and harder fade. Watch how what you thought was 2 hours becomes 7. And because that's what's going to fucking happen. Just get used to the idea right now. And I feel your pain, and everybody knows it.
I thought I was going to have like 20 minutes left in that speech when I clicked like to see how much time was left. It was like that much is gone in the video. I was like, you have got to be joking.
I was giggling at the whole kind of, like, he's like, I'm going to be I got 20 minutes left, and I was like, oh, you.
All right, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. Sorry for the echo. I don't know what
not at all.
There, but
love you, brother. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah.
And thank you to everybody in the chat, again, who stopped by and said hello and wants to come see the show. You guys are unbelievable. The support you guys showed is just beyond the pale. So thank you very much.
Great stuff. All right. See you later,
Thanks,
brother.
Al.
There he goes. Ladies and gentlemen, Boston Brian making a visit. Thanks, man. That's really lovely. At some point, I know that now that means the gate is wide open. So we're going to have, like, Texas Paul's going to get all riled up watching something. I'm going to do, hey, man, I got to get in there and say something because, goddamn. Can I say shit, fuck, piss on the regular live stream? Yes, you can. All right. Can I? I'm gonna have him do it. And that was my soft or first attempt at a Texas Paul impersonation. I'll work on it. I like it. Okay, here we go. So this is DJ TJT whatever. Yeah, DJ TJR. DJ, yeah. So he said, if he was a DJ, that would be his name. DJ TJR. Digitor. Coming on Eric Bowling, who at the beginning of it looked like he had a fever blister. I'm just saying. I don't know if he's hiding it well or whatever, but also he's got a fresh injection of marzipan, or it could just be the drinking.
Just the reach that the RNC was frankly wasting on some other candidates.
Yeah. Why would they waste their money electing, like, down ballot Republicans? I mean, what? Who does that? Ugh. I mean, barf. When they can take that money and give it to your dad to spend it on his court case where he paid off a porn star. That's politics.
Can now focus on your father's candidacy for president.
Legal woes. I wouldn't say candidacy.
Well, I think we got to focus on all the candidacies, right, Eric? It's not just about the presidency. We got lots of members of Congress that have to win. We have lots of, senators that.
Yeah, but they don't need money to do that.
Have to win. We got to win dog catcher races. We got to win it all. But I think the biggest thing is we got to get faith back in that institution. People have to trust it. They have to believe that their money is being spent in the right direction. I think hopefully that's what this does. And this.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah, putting Laura in charge, because I will say the only thing worse he could have done is put you in charge, or Eric. I'm dead serious, and I arguably think Eric would be slightly better than you. So, I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think you're that faith. It's not a brewing in the background. It's not a new faith. Well, Old Faithful isn't bubbling to the surface again. I think most of these people are going, fuck, I'm not giving money. Shit, Jesus Christ. You out of your fucking mind?
That's what this move does. It's a big ship. You got to get it going back in that proper path.
You mean towards electability? In what way is it a path towards electability where maggots are driving out all the run-of-the-mill Republicans in purple or slightly, red or blue leaning states that need to talk like a normal fucking person to get elected, whereas driving them out of the party, actively driving them out of the party, and diverting the funds that do come in to pay your dad's legal fucking bills. And by the way, not just his legal bills, his fucking fines at this point. There is no fucking way you can convince me that they're not scooping into all kinds of money to pay off the bonds that he has to do. He's going to take it from fucking everywhere. Is it lost on anyone that Laura Trump took over the RNC as the fundraising chair effectively right when Donald Trump gets this $454 million fine? What do you think he put her there to make sure nobody took money out of the RNC and put it towards his fucking bond that he doesn't fucking have?
But I think this will do it.
And
why? I would like to say that the key to an interview, if I may, ladies and gentlemen, the key to finding out what's going on, I don't understand. The key to finding out what's going on is not what you're saying or why you believe something, but how that belief is going to be translated into the real world.
And you and I go back a long way, and I remember when your dad first announced he was running for president in 2015 before 2016, and I remember.
That's true. Good point, Eric. 2015 was indeed before 2016. Also, I don't know if this is important, but 2017, when Tony Bobolinsky and all those guys say they have evidence of influence peddling, that was in 2017, which was after 2016. In the same amount of chronological distance as how 2015 was before 2016, 2017 is after 2016 in the same way. It just
Reince Priebus and Sean Spicer, they were there, and they weren't really they weren't very friendly to your father's campaign. And
you're kidding me? Sean Spicer turned himself into a national punchline.
I was sitting in for O'Reilly one night. I'll never forget.
I'll never forget it because, I always thought, this is a sweet gig. I'm going to be able to do this forever. O'Reilly's a fucking staple here at Fox News. He's not going to, what? I'm sorry? This is not happening?
Sitting in for O'Reilly.
You don't fill in for him on the fucking weird semi-podcasty thing he does from his basement office, whatever the fuck that is?
And your dad flew from New York to D.C. He was almost never in D.C. He flew.
Yeah, that's the story. Also, I got to say, there's something weird about the whole I've always flown in and I've never stayed overnight. It's our nation's capital, and there's a lot of tourist things to do there. There's also a lot of nice restaurants. There's a lot of nice, sights to see in general. There's, I love going there. My girlfriend and I go there on the regular because I like the city and I like the stuff that's there. It's a little weird. The fact that he brags about coming in and always leaving sounds like he was just there to lobby, bully, or blackmail.
From New York to D.C. and sat down with Priebus and Spicer and said, guys, get your act together. I'm going to be the nominee. And they finally kind of woke up then. But it's always been a bit of a odd relationship between your dad and the RNC, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's the smell. I think more than anything. I think, right? That's what did it.
Listen, I think the RNC is going to be a little bit more of that old school establishment. That Republican Party, frankly, no longer exists outside.
Sorry, I'm just going to enjoy that for a minute. I think can we all just agree? That's lovely. Just gone, is it? Shit.
Side of the DC Beltway, but it takes a little while to make that transition. But again, I think
into what? Electoral obscurity? Into the great void?
The moves that happened today. I think that's the final blow. People have to understand that
he said blow.
America first. The MAGA movement is the new Republican Party. That is conservatism today.
Why? What does it mean? Look, I know he says MAGA movement. I would like to hear from anyone in that fucking group what sets that apart from what Republicans are trying to do, except them, I guess, technically them actually trying to do it. Because it seems increasingly like MAGA is the TYT of the right. If we don't get everything, nobody gets anything, and progress is always bad because unless we can get everything at once, any step in the right direction is, I guess, it's too wimpy to even acknowledge.
There may be the Mitt Romneys and the Liz Cheneys out there, but that is a rare and dying breed, and it doesn't really represent any demographic outside of the swamp in America anymore today.
Yeah, we just threw up a picture of a couple of swamp.
Oh yeah, the people who he retired, he left on his own, and this guy almost got killed in that building. It's funny. I wonder if a little angel appeared on the shoulder of this guy, he'd probably try to fuck it. But if a little angel landed on Pence's shoulder and said, "Hey, guess what? In about 3 years, that guy's going to try and get you hung, and not in the way you'd like to see him."
Monsters behind your father there,
Oh, yeah.
Paul Ryan, and the Mike Pence kind of baffled.
You mean the ones who put together the fucking tax break he likes to take credit for? The ones who actually drafted the fucking thing? The ones who actually had an infrastructure bill that they think they could have passed through that was, 2/3 of what Biden ended up getting as a bipartisan bill, but they thought we can force this fucking thing through. You could be, you could have fucking Hoover Dam kind of level projects and they'll have to put your name on it. And he was like, fuck that, I'm going golfing.
Let's move on to last night, shall we? So a lot of people are waiting to see if Biden fell, if he tripped, if he even made it to the podium. I will.
Uh-huh. And to see if he said inspiring things like,
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
something like that.
Heard that Saudi Arabia.
Uh-huh. Strip it.
I'll point out he was 27 minutes late for.
Uh-huh. Because of traffic. Yeah. Also, he was talking to a lot of people as he came down the floor because he has actual friends.
Reasons we'll get to in a second, but he made it through an hour and 10 minutes. And a lot of people were surprised. But who knows?
No, they weren't.
What they shot him up with prior to keep him that aware and that cogent for 70 minutes.
But think about that, Eric.
Yeah, but think about that, Eric. I mean, is that the best we could do when we're guys? Think about that, Eric. When we're thinking about.
Sorry. Oh, I fucked that up. Hold on 1 second. I have to change this real quick. Please give me 1 second. I always have a hard time. I always have a hard time finding my pointer sometimes. Where are we? Let me just scroll down here. Let's see. This is no. This will. Yes.
Eric. I don't know, Eric. Guys. Listen, Eric. how are we supposed to hide the fact that Ronnie Jackson turned the whole Oval Office into a pill mill? Sorry, my little palate cork that I had to get in because the blow ate a hole in my hard palate. It sticks sometimes. It makes me sound like a nasal asshole. But how are we supposed to hide that Ronnie Jackson was doling out drugs to us for a while? And my dad's, obviously, you could see recently he's run out, and so we got to cover that because I need to get some more.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
Yeah, I mean, what's not to love? That's MAGA. If you want to saw it, guys, MAGA.
Think about what you just said, right? That
Think of what you just said.
is the baseline.
At the birthday, but
That is considered a success. He didn't fall over. He made it through, even if he had plenty of gaffes and sort of lost his train of thought, got a little confused. I mean, he made it through. That is the left. That is the mainstream media. It was a resounding success because he didn't die. I mean,
well, I mean, obviously I'm projecting because that's how we do all of guys. That's how we do all of my dad rallies. It's a resounding success because he didn't fall over or die. Even if he does say something like,
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
see, that's, that is a bar. That's the bar. Guys, that's the bar. That's what, guys, that's the bar. That's the standard. That's a great speech. That's a great speech. Because my dad can talk and shit himself at the same time. Not everybody could do that.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
Like, what more do you need? Obviously.
that is not a benchmark of
No! That's not a benchmark.
success. That is not a benchmark that we would use for any other president in history. But Joe
That's right. That is not a benchmark. This is the benchmark. This is it.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
That's a benchmark, people. I mean, come on. That's a benchmark you're gonna have to deal with. Where'd my thing go? Where did we wake up? It's so weird. I have to say, I think this beard works for Don Jr., but it needs like a white patch right here. But every time I put it on, I feel like going, highway to the danger zone. That's what comes up. Gonna take a ride into the danger zone. Yeah. Anyways, back to where we were.
Biden across the board has set such an incredibly low bar that the fact that he did not.
Real quick, Biden didn't set that low bar. I mean, this, you want to talk about like how they do cleanup and shit, right? They do tons of like cleanup after Trump fucks up, or they try to divert the conversation back into the way. This is another example of that. A lot of the people are just like this argument about how, he was loud, so he got through it, and that's the excuse, they turn it into an attack on the media for somehow letting this be the standard or whatever. The reality is they set that standard. They set it. They're the ones, Trump and all of his buddies started with the Sleepy Joe shit, and they haven't let go. They've been bragging on this bone forever. They have just like driving it home, and now when it eats shit, they're saying that the media or the Democrats are the ones with the low fucking bar when they said it. And it failed. This is another dead, one of the, if it was October, it'd be a dead October surprise. They try to stack these things like, we're going to get them. This thing, oh, shit.
Fall over and die is considered a reasonable win for them. I think the rest of the speech was a disaster, but the fact that he didn't die, that's dominating the news because people were not 100% sure that wasn't going to happen.
It was.
Yeah, that wasn't the conversation. As a matter of fact, the majority of it was not only that it was a powerful speech and he was very direct, but that he took it right to the Republicans at the very beginning, and then he answered directly, some of their shout outs during it, something Trump was never capable of doing. As a matter of fact, more than any other president I've ever seen deal with it.
Again,
It was
not exactly a success
It
story.
was him dying was one of the areas on my bingo card last night that people were sending around. Thankfully,
Who's we? First of all, motherfucker, you mean you. You mean you guys. Every one of these motherfuckers have been telling themselves a story about Joe Biden this entire time with this whole, they're going to swap him out for Michelle Obama, and they're going to swap him out for Gavin Newsom, or they're going to swap him out for Shapiro or anybody else, and that he's too old and he's doddering and they're hiding him and he's not really in charge. And all. They've been selling this shit.
it didn't happen. Anyway,
And if it didn't happen, it didn't happen, whatever. So you, I guess what, owe him an apology, or want to admit right here on the air that you were full of shit or gullible, or you bought what this asshole was selling, or he bought what you were selling? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
So we waited 27 minutes for this speech.
Did you?
Every single year starts at 9:01:30. That's just the way it is. Sergeant at Arms comes out and says 9:01:30. Says he introduces the president. President makes his way to the podium. We waited 27 extra minutes for him
Because the protesters were blocking the road. So what? So you would have had him. I think this is great. For all the people who were protesting good old Genocide Joe, all you motherfuckers, all you uncommitted people who, I suppose you've heard in the last week or so, Donald Trump say you got to finish the problem, meaning the Palestinians. We'll set that aside. That these fuckers are basically making the argument that if Donald Trump was in that same position, he'd have what? Driven through the crowd? How are you seeing this? Seeing which part? Which part? There's a lot of this. Right. What genocide is exactly right. No one drops, if your goal is genocide, no one drops 45,000 bombs and kills 30,000 people. You drop, I guess, arguably 10 and kill everybody. Wouldn't that be easier? Wouldn't that just be genocide? Boy, it sure would have been over quickly. You wouldn't have to send soldiers in or anything.
There's a protest, and the point I'm trying to make is when
that Donald Trump would have just driven through the protesters and killed them.
he did start, Don, I was floored that the first thing he went to was Ukraine. He spent 5 minutes on Ukraine. Now, I'll let you weigh in on that.
I thought it was.
Go ahead.
I thought it was the state of our union, but it was the state of Ukraine's union. I mean, that was the priority, and that's the problem. That's the priority of today's Democrat Party. Frankly, that's the priority for so mmany rhinos in the swamp. It was the state of Ukraine's union, not the state of America's union.
Also, dude, did you hear him? He just said 5 minutes. He spoke about it for 5 minutes. In an hour and 20 minutes, he spoke about Ukraine for 5 minutes. He opened with it because that funding is crucial and timely, specifically to right now. By the way, he also went straight to the border bill as well, which they also wouldn't pass. And those two things were aligned together, and they could have passed them all at fucking once. And you wouldn't have to hear about any of that shit. Oh my God. Can you imagine if the Republicans had passed that and they would, and Biden wouldn't have had those two cudgels to hit them with?
And that's a sad display. It shows you how.
It is a stad display. I agree. To display your stad like that was just daddy issues, anybody?
Not the state of America's union. And that's a sad display.
It is a stad display, isn't it?
It shows you how far we.
Oh, House E.G. Carroll may sue Trump for a third time. I insist.
Fall, and we are so much more concerned about other people's borders, about other invasions, not the one that's happening right here in America. And
because it's not an invasion. You know how I know it's not an invasion? Because at one of the hinge points, the worst positions in the border, where that is allegedly overrun all the time, where most of the people come through, your dad did an hour-long sit-down with Sean Hannity live out in the fucking open.
if we were under an invasion and they thought this guy's going to shut the border and kill our fentanyl gravy train, wouldn't they just shoot him from far away in Mexico? You don't think the cartels have sniper rifles with that far a range? I mean, it's an invasion, right? If they mean to invade. Also, if it's an invasion, wouldn't you want to pass any bill? Again, how the fuck? Let's look at the invasion idea, this analogy, and let's take it and make it a flood. There's a flood coming, and what will fix it is a breakwater. Is the Army Corps of Engineers building a breakwater, right? Solving it on a major thing. But the rain is coming, and the water's already started. So these motherfuckers are saying, stop bagging until we get a wall built. Stop bagging until we get, like, nobody throw sandbags up or try to, block the water or press it or, keep it back in one direction or redirect it. Don't do any of that shit until we actually start construction on a breakwater. That's their argument. That is the current Republican argument for dealing with the border. If it is an invasion and it's super important, every step matters. Can you imagine if they're like, gentlemen, we got to charge up that hill. The Germans are coming over it. It's up to us. And you're like, well, how many people are coming? Well, we think about 30,000. There's only 60,000 of us, and the guys are napping. I don't know. Can we just wait until they get here, and then we'll see if we'll start. How about we start shooting once they start coming? Actually, halfway through our second year of German, then we'll attack, because that's when we'll know it's really a problem. Right?
Again, I think that tells you everything you need to know. It's why the America Last movement that is so represented well by the Democrat Party today isn't resounding with Americans anymore.
It isn't resounding? It's not resounding? You don't think so?
Why Donald Trump is ahead in all of these polls.
Yeah, no, he isn't.
Because even demographics that have been controlled by the Democrat Party for decades, they're waking up and saying, listen, I'm not going to not believe my lying eyes, because I see it every day.
I'm not going to believe my lying eyes.
See it in the stores. You see it when you pay your mortgage. You see it at the gas pump. Bidenomics has failed America, but it's not even Joe Biden. These are Democrat Party policies. He could shut down the border like that. He could just left.
No, he couldn't, because you have to have a pandemic or another emergency for Title 42.
Trump's policies.
And also, that's what created the problem at the border.
They don't want to. They want to import an entirely new voter base, because.
Well, if they want to do that, then why would they offer up all these implementations that are in the border bill? If they like it the way it is, why do anything?
They understand that
and if it's not going to work, then, if they're going to push a bill forward, they're going to put this border bill forward, but it's not going to change a thing, then don't you win by that? Like, we voted for the thing, but they wouldn't implement it, or not in time, or any of this shit. They're not treating. He's got the right to shut the border down today, and he won't do it, right? Call his fucking bluff, you wuss.
Ostracize everyone else in America, so they got to make sure they import the control that they've dominated and the power that they will get from.
The fuck are you talking about? Trump's been bragging about how Hispanics are going his way, in huge numbers. Largely, I guess, the ones that, want to pull the ladder up after themselves is the theory. That would be the ones that lean that direction. Kind of like Paul Ryan is with SSI.
Owning that demographic.
Take a listen to Biden last night, not actually naming your father, but also but relating him to Putin. Take a listen.
Now my predecessor, a former Republican president, tells Putin, quote, do whatever the hell you want.
He didn't actually say that to Putin. He said it sort of towards Putin, and said he would say it to Putin. And there's a huge difference there, obviously.
I know. I follow everything.
He likened half the country to Confederates, and basically there was the implied Nazi.
No, he didn't. He didn't imply half the country to Confederates. By the way, this is the inversion. This is where they AC logic this idea, which is Biden recognizes that not the entire Republican Party is maggots. and makes a point of singling out maggots, which are a slice of the group. Specifically, that if without the threat of those folks being around, these people might be willing to play more game and would act like adults in this process. This is the theory. But the third of them that are absolute maggots, specifically, he's addressing that crowd. But there is no impetus, there's no value in this asshole recognizing that MAGA's a small sliver, a third of the Republican Party that remains in the House. And what they want to do, because it's good for their brand and good for the idea, is that the entire party is MAGA. So Biden attacks the small sliver that's MAGA to try and excise the rest of the Republicans from them and go, I can talk to these folks. If you put the bill on the floor, they'll pass it. The maggots won't, but these guys will. But these guys are immediately like, no, the Republican Party is dead. It's only MAGA. The only people that are left are MAGA. And if you're not MAGA, you're going to get drummed out. So you better act MAGA even if you're not. That's the issue. And so when Biden tries to talk to this small sliver, they're always making the case he's talking to 50% of America.
Drops, Yeah, Joe Biden's doing such a great job. He's instructed his DOJ to go after his political rivals. The people who scream.
No, he hasn't. Why would he have to do that? Also, wouldn't it be like how much? Yeah, how much success would he have going after your dad if he'd have just returned those documents? Shit, he had a photocopier down there. For all they know, he could have made a bunch of copies of the shit and kept the copies. He just wouldn't return the fucking originals. Was that a Saudi thing? Was the Saudis just made him? They wanted the original copy of the documents, or they wouldn't pay him.
The loudest for the last 8 years about fascism are acting awfully a lot like fascists, Eric.
Awfully a lot like fascists? In what way? Is just anybody raising their voice or standing up for something that's fascism? You fucking hippie.
Again, they have big tech. They have the vast majority of the mainstream media.
There is no big tech. Also, what is Elon Musk? Chop liver?
Running cover for them, functioning exclusively as their marketing department.
Well, in their defense, anybody who's fact-based, you're going to assume they have a liberal bias.
That doesn't work, again, because people understand it. They see it. It's why.
Yes, they do. And that's why most people watch the regular news. And also, most people are going back to their regular lives. One of the reasons why the ratings on regular news channels is down is because people don't feel the need to fucking white-knuckle their government.
My father's approval ratings and the poll numbers go in his benefit each time they indict him further.
No, they don't.
Because they understand.
No. There's a group of Republicans that come back to the fold for a short time, and they've since left.
And that they would do this to any American if they're willing.
Why? How would they do this to any American? Has every American lied to both banks and the IRS about the value of their properties, or hid who the fuck their financial backers are when they turn out to be the Saudis or the Russians or the fucking Chinese? How is any average American ever going to encounter any of these particular trials? Even the fucking, the only one would be defamation of someone they sexually assaulted, which, by the way, most average people would just be in fucking jail for the sexual assault, for Christ's sake. Never mind the fucking fact that who gets the opportunity to pay off a porn star to hide the story during a campaign? When is that going to come up? The average rhino deals with that all the time. They just pretend
to do it to Trump. If they're able to do it to Trump, there is no one that they will not do this to.
Again, with what? You know how they always say, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Well, technically, that's because those two are fucking linked. You got to actually do the crime, and he fucking did. Also, the SOTU turned the populace. It literally, people went from 43% to 65% preferring Biden's policies and thinking they would move the country in the right direction over Trump in one fucking speech. Which just means that we're talking about an info gap, and as we get closer to the election, it's gonna get clearer and clearer.
To maintain power and control, even if they're failing the rest of the country in the process.
So Joe survives last night. He doesn't trip, makes it through an hour and 10 minutes or so.
and teabags Republicans repeatedly.
And today they dropped $25 million in ads on their new campaign.
Yeah, you also you missed the part that was kind of crucial, is that they made $20 million in 2 hours after the speech.
Push. Take a listen. Here's a little piece.
I know the American story. Again and again, I've seen the contest between competing forces in the battle for the soul of our nation. Between those who want to pull America back to the past and those who want to move America into the future. The issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas.
Shit.
Hate, anger, revenge, retribution are the oldest of ideas. I see a future where defending democracy, we don't diminish it.
Now, if you watch the pictures along with listening to the words, you see a comparison between your father, MAGA, and the KKK. And
well, specifically his father and the KKK, and not, by the way, the average run-of-the-mill Republicans. You'll notice there was a total lack of even Tommy Tuberville in that.
Racism. Your father's polling around 25 to 27% with blacks. That's a slam dunk win for the presidency. So it's clear what they're worried about there. You weigh in on them trying to relate MAGA to the KKK.
Well, listen, I think it's ridiculous. I think you saw that. I think you saw the reversal from so many of these rappers that are out there that, again, in.
Oh, fuck me. So many of these rappers that are out there. Meanwhile, tell me again how Taylor Swift is a psyop. That the fact that she might support Joe Biden or because she cares about women's rights and she fucking is one. But when he brings up black voters, you immediately go, look at all these rappers turning around as rappers. I mean, they like sneakers. Look at how fast the fucking sneakers sold out. They love that shit.
16 and 17, it was easy to go after Trump. You're going to get free clicks. The press is going to make you a hero for going after Trump and vilifying him. But I think those people understand the community that they live in. They understand their people, and those people are upset with what's going on. Those people are getting crushed by Joe Biden and these policies. Joe Biden, they liken everything.
Joe Biden.
They're saving democracy. They're saving democracy by trying to jail their political opponents. They're going to save democracy by removing.
What? First of all, they're not trying to jail your dad. He fucked up and he's finding out. But who else are they locking up? I mean, besides, of course, all the pedophiles that worked for your dad's campaign. That's weird. I mean, do you guys consider Ghislaine Maxwell part of the campaign now? Is that what it is?
The most popular person in the Republican Party from the ballot. I mean, they're speaking.
You mean the guy who just won 60% in some states when he had already been president, to a woman of color who Republicans en masse are not going to vote for?
Out of both sides of their mouth. The hypocrisy from the radical left today knows no bounds.
The hypocrisy of the radical left? Well, I mean, do extremists on either side hypocrite much? I mean, I think it's the argument that the rhinos and stuff are the fake people. I don't think he cares.
I think it's just the pendulum is overcorrected so far, Eric.
The pendulum? Sorry.
Left today knows no bounds. I think it's just the pendulum is overcorrected.
Yeah, I agree. The pendulum has definitely overcorrected. I agree. And it's so nice that, that the apple doesn't fall far.
Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
The pendulum, is that's like that's what they call like the part of your taint where it looks like the stitching would have been if somebody sewed you shut. Is that what that is? I don't know. Or is that if you have two of the things hanging in the back of your throat, the second one is called a pendulum. Yeah.
Heard that Saudi Arabia.
But
so far, Eric, I just don't think people are buying this nonsense anymore.
So,
well, you mean on your side? Absolutely.
Before I let you go, I know you got to go.
Yeah, you got to go because don't you have I don't know, a white tiger staked to the ground outside, waiting to be shot from a tree.
Kept you a little longer. The Republican response last night by the Alabama Senator Katie Brill.
Yeah, so good, so choice. So, I mean, is this going to be her one good review, or
Getting panned by a lot of people? Even Charlie Kirk said it was something from a high school play. What are your thoughts on that Republican?
It should be it's an easy answer. She nailed it. Okay, everybody's talking about it. There is no such thing as bad press.
Republican response. Other people really enjoyed it. Yours?
Yeah. Listen.
Yeah. Listen. It was. I don't know. I guess. I have notes. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. That's a piece of paper right here. Liked it. That's what I wrote down. I wrote down. If they hate it, we like it. That's how it works.
I think there's one person that can deliver the Republican response to a divisive, vicious, Ukraine State of the Union that Joe.
The perfect guy to do it, of anybody is obviously James Comer. I mean, that guy.
Biden gave, and that's Donald Trump. So I think not having.
Yeah, but he gave, he was so far ahead of it, so good at he did a pre-buttal.
Donald Trump actually.
Donald Trump did that. I don't know if you know the guy or whatever. The name sounds familiar. Even when I say it, it's like always on the tip of my tongue.
Give that rebuttal is probably.
He would do, he just did it beforehand, and he would have done it all throughout, except, Truth Social went down because, what happened was you could only have so much superior media at any given time.
Probably the biggest mistake because he's the one that's done this. We have an unusual election era where we've actually will have lived under the policies. It's not just talk, right? It's not a politician telling you what they're going to do and then failing to deliver. Donald Trump made promises. He delivered on those promises.
Yeah, he was like, Mexico's going to pay for the wall. Nailed it. Guys, nailed it. Sniffle. He killed it on that, he got us out of Afghanistan, and kept us in at the same time.
Joe Biden said he was going to do all these great things. The adults were going to be back in charge, and they.
Yeah, he hasn't passed an infrastructure bill. Inflation is still 9%. Guys, I mean, come on. Unemployment's like 27%.
It failed across the board. And
I mean, look at the stock market. That's why
I would love to see him be successful, Eric, because I'm an American.
Yeah, I'm an American. I have a lot of money in the stock market. And what I'm saying is that I'm enjoying the fact that he's being successful. I'm just lying about it to you and your marzipan head.
I have 5 young kids. I want them to live in a country that's prosperous, but that is not what we're getting. So the reality of that situation.
Well, especially because it used to be that, prosperous meant that, we could get loans from anywhere. We don't even need loans from the United States. We could get them from all over. We could get them from Deutsche Bank.
I think it's a very difficult position for anyone, basically not named Donald Trump, to give the strong rebuttal to the disaster that we see.
It was great, and he did a pre-buttal, which is, interestingly enough, what people call the front of his pants when he puts them on backwards.
See play out before us each and every day.
I'll leave it right there. Donald Trump Jr.
Thank you, don't let me be here. Eric Bowling Face.
Appreciate your time. Thank you, sir.
I got plenty of it.
Thanks a lot, Eric.
Sorry, I catch a glimpse of myself and I'm like, highway to the danger zone. Gonna take a ride into the danger zone. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, how do we even deserve this much show? I think you do. I think you do. I'm alright. Don't nobody worry about me. Why you got to give me a fight? Why don't you just let me be? Do what you want. All right, look. It's a good look. and I have to be careful because if I wear it too long, I may get into winger territory. We know how that can go. I'm turning around. Oh, thanks very much. Yeah, hey, look, if I need to, let's see, do I have it up here? Yeah, hold on. No, that won't work. What is that? How about this one? Nope. Yes, good. What kind of a name is Chance? My mama took one. How about a little cheap trick? I don't have a blonde setup on this one, or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, I need this one. Here you go. This is closer. Last place I worked at was so tough they had a sign over the urinal that said, "Do not eat the big white mint." Also, this works with Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. Goodbye, everybody, I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Oh, yeah. Like, here we go. Mama, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters. I know what you're thinking. How anybody can do that without warming up after talking for 3 hours. And you're probably right. Who can't whip out notes like that dry? I get it. And thank you. I appreciate you noticing the falsetto shift. Instead, because it's a proper falsetto that he goes into, not head voice. I just want to make that clear. So tomorrow night, Ultimate Jam Night, we're celebrating the ladies. So I'm singing all duets tomorrow night. I'm doing a wonderful Bryan Adams Tina Turner song. I'll just put that out there. I'm doing an Ozzy Lita Ford song, and then I'm doing a group song version of like multiple singers version of "What's Up" by Four Non Blondes. So that's gonna be a good time. It's all in the mustache. It is. I think the mustache actually makes it easier. If I gotta say, yeah. Need to live stream it. I'm trying to get him to. I'm working on it. I really am. So, and to get it all out, what's in my head? Okay. Try Rob Halford. I don't know who Rod Halford is, Praypon, but I can do some Rob Halford. Many people know that Johnny Million was once so shocked that I sang a Judas Priest song with vibrato that he stopped the band and said, "Did you just sing with vibrato?" That's true. We were. I've heard great things about the new Judas Priest album. I have not had a chance to listen to the whole thing cover to cover, as it were, song to song. Yeah, I'm doing "It's Only Love," and I will be doing full Bryan Adams on it. I will be going the full Bryan Adams. Yeah. When the feeling is ending, there's no use pretending that it's over. Whatever. Yeah, I know the words. I just have to mess around with it. I don't want to scratch myself up for tomorrow night, because that's one of the things you'll do. That and White Lion. Gotta be careful singing that White Lion, man. It's too dry. His vocals are too dry. It's like singing with sandpaper. Yeah. Wade! That whole thing. Like I almost choked to death doing that. It's the same thing with Bryan Adams. I'm like, oh, God. And that's his natural voice. It's all scratched up. So, King Diamond, Abigail! I can manage that. I can make that happen. Sure. Do you ever do Lee Michaels? Lee Michaels. I don't think so. Richard Marks. I I have been trying to do Hold On to the Nights at the Jam for a while now. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna do a Chicago night. I'm gonna crowbar fucking. I'm gonna do Cheap Trick. I'm gonna do The Flame, and I'm gonna do Hold On to the Nights. That's how. Yeah. And Richard Marx is a good guy with a wicked sense of humor. Last try, Boston accent being filter. The Boston accent built. I can't do that. I'll never. Hold on. Let's see if I find it. Fucking duck. Oh, I scrolled the wrong way. I just want to tell everybody I'll fuck it up. I'm gonna start sound like Vinny Barbarino. I can't do it. I'll do it later. I'm gonna work on it. I cannot with Boston Brian watching fuck it up. I won't do it. Henry Rollins. I do some Bruce Dickinson. We've done that. Anyways, until next time. Hold on one second. Let's see if I can find something real quick. Go to here. Go to. Till next time. We'll see you guys. All right. Come on. Dumdum Trump eats pineapples. Oh, yeah. It's the Fruity Bismos that See you next time, people. That's right.